For the last few weeks, giant monoliths have been turning up all across the world. This has caused various theories to be put forward to try and explain them. However, as of right now, no one knows for sure why these giant structures keep turning up. Some have suggested it's part of a global prank, while others have said it's something to do with the paranormal, and that government officials are trying their hardest to keep these discoveries under wraps. It seems that the most recent monolith has just turned up in Colombia, but this one is different. All of the monoliths that have been photographed have been silver in colour. This one is gold. As with all of the monoliths that were discovered before this one, it's caused some to put forward out their theories. Some think they're connected to time travellers or aliens, while others have said they're being placed there by pranksters. Interestingly, rumours have started to spread that some of these monoliths are appearing on auction sites, and that they're selling for around $45,000 or £33,000. Some can't understand why people would buy these, and say that the likely answer is that it's just some random people creating them, and that they probably don't belong to an artist, further saying that the pieces won't hold their value. One person who works for a news station was quoted as saying the following: "The Utah monolith made people put forward all kinds of different theories to try and explain it, but what news stations saw was that these structures were creating a lot of engagement online. All of this talk gave news companies an idea. Why don't they start creating their own monoliths and then placing them in random locations? And because we knew where we'd be placing them, we'd be the first ones covering them, giving us the most impressions and causing viewerships to increase." This is exactly what happened. Some media abroad aren't doing so well on numbers, so it was a great idea for them to create their own structures and place them in locations close to their headquarters. It would cost between $200 and $1,000 to create one of these monoliths, but the payback in clicks would easily cover the costs, and also they could claim that they were the first ones to cover it. It's a win-win." End quote. Although some people called this a while back, it still leaves the question of the Utah monument. How long was this structure here before it got discovered? Why was it placed here? Who created it and why? All of these questions remain to be answered. Although theorists believe that the Utah monument wasn't created by humans, they have gone on record as saying that they think the monoliths afterwards have been placed there by news stations or pranksters. The reason they say this is because the Utah monolith looks so much different to the other structures that were recently discovered, saying that the ones that came after the Utah monolith look amateurish. As of right now, it doesn't seem like interest in these strange structures is slowing down, nor does it seem that the structures themselves are slowing down. Another one recently appeared on the Isle of Wight. Interestingly, various people have come forward and claimed that they're the ones behind the monoliths. But as some have pointed out, several of these artists have come forward and claimed it's them who's creating them. But people have questioned how they're able to do this and transport them to various countries within a few days. This has caused some to say that these artists are doing the same as news stations, claiming that they are creating them and hoping that people will start to follow their work. One person said the following: "I think that these artists are trying to get fame by saying that they're the ones behind the creations. I've seen one artist say they're the ones who created the original Utah monolith, but interestingly they're now saying they'll create one for anybody for a large sum of money. To me this just seems like a cash grab, and people will say they've created them just to make a bit of money." End quote. What some can't seem to explain though is who's taken away these structures. This is where some of the more out there theories are coming from, with one amateur researcher saying the following: "I think that government officials are removing these structures or paying people to remove them. I can't understand how these are turning up in places so quickly. Can people really make these things at the rate in which they're appearing? I don't think so." End quote. Skeptics still say these structures are fake. This theory is the one that skeptics believe in, saying that these structures are nothing more than pranks being played on the general public. So where does this idea come from? Skeptics point to the fact it's likely the Utah monolith would have been discovered by now, and that the likelihood is that it was installed within the last few years. They say that the pranksters wouldn't have wanted to place this structure in plain sight, as this would have made it too obvious it was fake. So they found a location that not many people visited and placed it there. The Utah monolith was surrounded by many crevices, and although the structure itself is over 15 feet tall, it would have been quite hard to spot it if you was just walking past and not taking note of your surroundings. One skeptic said the following about the monolith: "I like to call myself an open-minded skeptic, and don't rule out everything unlike some skeptics. But when it comes to these monoliths, it's quite obvious they've been created as a joke. I've seen other people saying that more of these structures will turn up in the near future, and I think they're right. To me, there's nothing mysterious about these structures." End quote. So what do you guys make of this recent discovery in Colombia? Why do you think that it's gold? Also, what do you make of the idea that news companies are creating these structures just so they can be the first ones to cover them? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below, and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.